When the speakers will be speaking?
At 12.
Exactly at 12?
I mean, they're going to have the Raging
Susan and
Grannies.
Hank and
Raging, okay, just the singers. Okay, thank you.
somebody else from like see over in the shade.
Yeah, if this is in the shade, I'll go.
I'm following.
I don't want to be in your way. Am I going to be okay here? You want me to do the time?
Very good.
Yeah. I got a bunch of them. Every time I look at
And I got a call there was, okay, so he does not have a leader because so I have before. And I had no information. I had everything.
I mean, it's great, but it was awful. The class
Nobody had it. So I had a call my house.
Hey! I love seeing you. Folks are going to other body shops, can't get anything. Now,
It's not fun, is it? You know,
Isolation while you're waiting to get
I was driving for 6 weeks.
Yeah.
Started crazy. Yeah. Somebody picked me up.
We're gonna be right here.
Today, take away 2 but it's still good. And I'll put that I said metal
She needs to sit down and not just relax your face.
That means
Where are these people pre-election? Huh? Yeah, butcher. Holy shit, so that.
Hey,
You got it good. I'm like, oh, they're getting ready to say, way to get over there, make sure someone's recording.
hopefully it is.
Jim, have you met my husband, Ron?
We met at the Brown Truck.
The brown truck.
Yes, yes.
Good to see you again.
All right. It's a sporadic, occasional thing, but we're here.
That's the deal.
This is amazing.
I love it.
So much in it.
I love it very much.
All right, so you've got this. I'm going to stand back a little bit. Have
Hopefully
they?
it's all set up in the PA.
I was just going to say, this would be the kickoff, and they haven't actually, Kristen is going to lead off, right, with the opening remark?
Yes, I think she's just going to greet people and then the grannies.
There's a lot of folks already chanting up and down the streets. That's okay. Something for everyone.
Yeah, yeah. It's got it all.
Well, he's
Sorry, Janice.
No, we're good, thanks.
Good afternoon, everybody.
Cam, let me come behind.
Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the Guilford County Hands Off. Thank you all for being here. We want to take a moment
Get closer.
to pay homage to Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., who was tragically assassinated 57 years ago on April 4th, 1968.
In Memphis.
Dr. King dedicated his life to fighting for civil rights, and his legacy of nonviolent, direct action inspires us all today. Before we begin our peaceful rally and march today, let us honor his life and work with a brief moment of silence.
Where are they going to march? Civil Rights Museum. We're here. It's going to the Civil Rights Museum. Oh, they are? Okay, I make fun.
Thank you all very much. I am very excited to welcome a robust lineup of speakers and storytellers from our local area who will share their voices and stories in our fight for democracy. But first, the very viral sensation singing group, which made a huge splash.
Man, I can't hear.
Got it. you very much. But first we will welcome the viral sensation singing group, which made a huge splash at the Tillis Town Hall on March 17th with over 1 million views of their video from the Tillis Town Hall across all of their social media platforms, and even on the Rachel Maddow Show, amongst others. Please give a great big hand to the Piedmont Raging Grannies.
We especially love our first song because it allows us to sing about all the things we're really pissed off about. Now you've pissed off Grandma.
He's in the way.
We were angry when you raised all those taxes on the poor. We were outraged when you authorized those pipelines. Our infrastructure's gone to pot and our kids are getting shot. So we're raging, cause now you pissed off Grandma. You gerrymander our elections and it's harder now to vote. You rob women of their rights to plan their families. Gay or straight or trans or poor, we're worse off than we were before. You've ignored us, so now you pissed off Grandma. Social Security's in danger and our Medicare is too. Folks are dying every day for lack of health care. You keep prisoners locked in cages, workers can't get living wages. This is cruel and we're really pissed off Grandma. Well, you're stealing public taxes to support those private schools, and you're banning books and teaching whitewash history. With our teachers unsupported and our immigrants deported, feel the wrath of these truly pissed off grandmas. We see fat cats getting richer on the spoils of your wars. We buy bombs and drones while kids get gas to lunches. We say stop your racist wars and start listening to the bar. Wake up and hear us, cause now you pissed off grandma. Name your pious Christians as self-righteous as can be, while our veterans sleep homeless on our sidewalks. And while folks are going broke, we're concerned about the smoke. You're lousy hypocrites, and now you pissed off grandma. Wealthy grannies have no lies, through your greed and through your lies, and we know who's wrong from right and right from wrong. We'll keep singing through our veins with the Poor People's Campaign and vote you out, cause you really pissed off grandma. We'll vote you out now because you pissed off grandma.
Thank you so much. We sang a song for Tom Tillis and we wrote some special lyrics for. He didn't come to the town hall, but a lot of other folks did. And we've been asked since then to write the same set of lyrics, but inserting other people's names for Congress and other representatives and elected officials. And today we thought, let's be inclusive. Let's say, politicians, do your job. And we mean politicians of every stripe. Where are the Republicans? Where are the Democrats? Where are the independents? Their job is to work for us. And we want you to help us sing this song. We're going to sing a line, you sing it right back, and you'll pick it up as we go along, all right? Politicians, please, do your jobs, do your job. Politicians, do your job. Oh, how I want to be in that number when you finally do your job. You say you will, and then you don't, and then you don't. You say you will, and then you don't. But for what the people are wanting, you say you will, and then you don't. You work for us, you work for
tyranny, to tyranny. Will you stand up to tyranny? When will you fight from school agenda? Will you stand up to tyranny? Where are you now? Where are you now? Where could you be? Where could you be? Where are you now? Where could you be? Are you hiding at home 'cause you're chicken? We need you now. Where could you be? Politicians, please. Politicians, please. Just do your job. Just do your job. Politicians, do your job. Oh, how I want to be in that number when you finally do your job. Oh, how I want to be in that number when you finally find your spot.
I like your time. Just sit anywhere you can. I'm gonna sit on the step.
Now we need is grandpas. We need the grandpas.
Hi, everybody. Could I have your attention for a moment, please? We have a lost phone up here at the front. It has a pink case on it. So thank you very much to the Raging Grannies. This is a moment for which we've been waiting to rise up, stand together, and make it crystal clear that we want hands off our government, our environment, our bodies, our history, our rights, and our futures. Today, we are but one of over 1,200 hands-off rallies around the world. Sorry. A little housekeeping. We are accepting food donations in case someone has not dropped them off. There is a food donation right by the large tree behind you. We plan at the end of the march to go to the Civil Rights Museum. We're going to try and walk in 2 or 3 at a time, keeping on the sidewalks. We will obey all traffic laws, please. And we will have marshals along the route in the yellow hats. This is a non-violent march and rally, and please be respectful of the property and leave no trash behind. We're here to end government overreach with the message, hands off. We are taking back control, and we will build a future where our democracy works for us, not the billionaires. We will fight for the social services that protect our families. We will fight for gun violence prevention to protect our communities. And we will fight for a government that works for the people, by the people. So without further ado, I would like to bring up our first speaker, Tyler Day, who will be speaking on voting rights.
It's working.
Hello, everyone. My name is Tyler Day. I work for the Common Cause, North Carolina, and I'm here to talk about voting rights. So, can you hear me now? All right.
Shout it out, man.
So, politics is about power, and there is a constant battle going on for power in this country. Those with power want to do everything they can to hold on to the power they have and get more power. And those in power in our government are wielding their influence in an effort to control all different aspects of our lives. But in a democracy, the power is supposed to be with the people. And there is no more sacred power that we as citizens have than our right to vote. Unfortunately, voting rights in this country are under attack from our own government. Legislators in Congress have introduced the SAVE Act. This bill would require proof of citizenship to register to vote. And this means Americans nationwide would have to show documents such as a birth certificate or a passport when they register. 21 million people in the U.S. don't have these documents readily available. 69 million women in the U.S. don't have a birth certificate with their current legal name. 146 million Americans don't have a passport. The SAVE Act would effectively eliminate voter registration drives and require rural voters to drive long distances just to register to vote. This bill would disenfranchise millions of people across the country. And now the president has issued an executive order to try to unconstitutionally enact portions of the SAVE Act without Congress. Legislators say we need this bill to ensure the integrity of our elections, but that's not true. There are a series of post-election audits which take place after every election to ensure only eligible people vote. Moreover, everyone who registers to vote right now must provide a driver's license number or the last 4 digits of their social security number or an ID before they can vote. So why are congressional representatives proposing this change? Power. They want to decide who is eligible to vote because they want to control the electorate.
That's exactly right.
Legislators want an electorate that is more likely to vote for them. This way they are able to remain in power. It's the same reason state legislators in Raleigh have proposed a bill to eliminate voter registration drives around the state. The same reason state legislators in Raleigh have passed a bill to reduce the amount of time voters have to cure their ballots. And it's the same reason our state legislature continues to gerrymander our voting districts for their partisan gain. So we stand here today to tell our legislators, hands off our votes. North Carolina is home to the last unresolved election in this country, an election for state Supreme Court justice. Judge Jefferson Griffin lost that election, but he's filed lawsuits challenging the votes of more than 65,000 North Carolinians in an attempt to overturn the election results. Yesterday, a three-judge panel of the North Carolina Court of Appeals ruled in Judge Griffin's favor, requiring them to, quote, cure their defective registrations. But I say today, the only thing that's defective is that court ruling. We expect this decision to be appealed to the North Carolina Supreme Court, and therefore we're here today to tell the North Carolina Court of Appeals and the North Carolina Supreme Court, hands off our votes. So there is a movement in this country to take power away from the people. Powerful elites in our government want to shut out our voices and take away our votes. But we must push back, because if you're not taking action, you're being acted upon. Democracy only works if we, the people, make it work. There's power in numbers. So let's raise our voices so they can't drown us out and speak out for our voting rights and our power.
Thank you very much, Tyler. Our next speaker is Victor Vincent, and he will be talking about reentry and criminal justice.
Can I call y'all family today? Can I say we family? Yeah. Can I say we family? Yeah. I work for men and women, and a lot of them are not out here today. I work with the formerly incarcerated community, and I am somebody who is formerly incarcerated. And we want to do great things in our community, but a lot of times we aren't allowed to do great things in our community. Somebody was killed in Washington, D.C. in January because this form of government that we have right now wanted to take over anything and everything. Nobody has been held accountable for that murder. However, people like me can't get an honest job when we go out looking for work. We still aren't allowed to live in certain places when we want to go out and look for housing. So I encourage you, it's time for all of us to be family and all of us to work together. One of us at a time. A bully can take each one of us and beat us up one by one. But what they can't do is beat us all up when we're standing together. Right now, there are too many of us working in small silos. We look at our work like it's the most important thing in the world. But if we're not working all together, I watch them knock each one of us off one at a time. Ladies, you don't have the rights that women had in the 1960s right now. And that's because we aren't working together. Women, never forget the strength of Mothers Against Drunk Driving and how things changed when they saw a need for change. have to open up our doors and invite everybody in and everybody to be part of the solutions for the problems we face today. The formerly incarcerated want to come into the communities and do this kind of work. We want to help police our communities. We want to help to make sure the seniors of our communities get what they need. Right now, I am a community healthcare worker, and I watch elderly people struggle between food and medication. I watch elderly people sit in the house with the roof leaking because there's no money to fix the roof. They're on a fixed income. This is the needs that we need to address, and we need to address these issues together. We need to stand together. We need to work together, and we need to be together. Look me up on Facebook, Victor Vincent, the reentry expert. Look at the work that I do and invite me and part of my team out to assist you in any which way we can. The American dream really is to make America better. And the only way we can do that is by all of us working together to make America better. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Victor. Our next speaker is Dina Hayes Green, and she'll be talking about education.
Good afternoon. This just warms my heart to see so many people here. It goes on and on for blocks and blocks and blocks. But I want to say something about public education, because public education is fundamental to ensuring that all students, regardless of socioeconomic status, regardless of their background, regardless of their race, their gender, their identity, their abilities, their disabilities, have access to learning. The efforts to defund public education, to take public dollars and to put it in private schools so that they can cherry pick who they want, so that they can get money on the backs of poor and working class children and their families, and they have no recourse. They want to make sure that our educators, that our classified staff, that our electricians, our HVAC, our school nutrition workers, our transportation, our custodial workers, our teachers assistants can't just survive, but they need to thrive. We need to make sure that they have salaries and that they have benefits and that they continue to provide the learning and the opportunities for our children. Education also strengthens democracy. You know why they don't want our students voting? Guilford County had one of the largest high school student turnout in the elections ever. And they don't want our students to vote because they believe in this. They believe in solidarity, they believe in inclusion, they believe in justice, and they believe in freedom. So they're trying to restrict, even though civic education is required by the statutes, they're putting voter ID, student ID, and student balance into question. And the last thing I want to say about public education is what it does for our workforce. Every level of education improves your opportunities in life. Getting a GED, getting your high school diploma, getting a 2-year associate's degree, getting an undergraduate degree. It improves the likelihood of you getting a home, of you having a better job, of you not being involved in the criminal justice system, of you not having access to environmental burdens. So hands off our schools, hands off our workforce, hands off public education. Thank you.
Hi, thank you so much, Dina. Our next is a storyteller, Tessa Penley, and she's going to talk about education as well.
As Dina laid out, when public schools are under attack, what do we do? That's right. When I first started teaching in 2013, I had a mentor who would come to check on me, and after listening to my beginning teacher frustrations, would say to me, Tessa, tend your garden. And frankly, tend your garden is not terrible advice. It's a survival strategy. Close your door and do what you can do.
But what became clear to me is that it is simply not enough. Tending my own garden could not address the fact that my students don't deserve food insecurity any more after they leave my classroom than they deserve it while they are in my classroom. Tending my own garden cannot address the need for stable housing, for access to health care for our countries, or address our country's abhorrent immigration system. Tending my own garden cannot address systemic racism or the defunding and deprioritization that result from it. And so I quit teaching. And when I quit, after just 3 years, it was in defeat. I felt too small and too overwhelmed to be able to do anything close to enough for the whole human beings that were in my classroom every single day. I was heartbroken, and I quit with no intentions of coming back into the public school system. However, a year later, I needed to be back because I needed to support myself. And back in that classroom, I thought, I'm going to give it another couple years, and then I'm going to move on for good. And fortunately for me, the 17-18 school year was when the organized 2020 Racial and Social Justice Caucus of my union, statewide strike in a state where public sector workers are denied the right to collective bargaining by a Jim Crow era law that is still on the books today. And the through line from that strike to us electing Mary Beth Murphy to the Board of County Commissioners right here, to Guilford County passing the largest school construction bond in the history of our state. It could not be more clear. And so I stand here today with an ask. Move beyond tending your own garden. You cannot pull all the weeds. None of us can. But when we join with our co-workers in unions like NCA, or with our neighbors in organizations like Indivisible and Guilford for All, we can win against the privatizers and the billionaires. When public schools are under attack, what do we do?
Thank you so much, Tessa. Next up is Dr. Steve Lukey, and he'll be talking about healthcare.
First of all, as a medical professional, I'd like to say, Trump and Musk, keep your grubby hands off my patients. They are the tip of the spear of a party that has long fought against Medicaid and Medicare since its creation. And now they and their minions are shredding these programs left and right. So many of my older patients waited till they got Medicare so they could afford necessary surgeries or cancer screens. Do you think that the billionaires care about that? Heck no, they're firing those who administer it, and ultimately they want to privatize it all. This will shrink services and cost lives, all to benefit the insurance companies. And I say hands off! Hands off! The House, with Trump's endorsement, has proposed cutting $800 billion from Medicaid to fund tax cuts for the rich. If this becomes law, North Carolina Republicans have promised to halt and reverse Medicaid expansion. These recipients are not freeloaders. They're mostly working poor women. Before expansion, 500,000 of them suffered higher mortality, and our rural hospitals close at 3 times the expansion state rates. Hands off! Hands off! Say it with me. We will not go back. We will not go back. Trump and Musk and Robert Quackity are sworn enemies of science. As a prior chief of staff and hospital board chair, I know that medical systems require the most experienced and highest qualified leaders. Now they're firing experts left and right that lead the FDA, the EPA, the CDC, and the NIH. Global health has been trashed as millions will surely die. with USAID cutbacks in food and medicine. Shameful. Hands off. Hands off. Social determinants of health help us more than doctors do. Our citizens need a living wage, clean air and clean water, a good education, good nutrition, and more. Trump's goons are gutting these. Hands off. Hands off. Trump started his war on women's health with the repeal of Roe v. Wade. And we saw North Carolina Republicans refuse to insure working poor women for over a decade. Now pregnant women are dying at a higher rate in banned abortion states. They're even cutting funding for fertility and breast cancer research. Hands off! Hands off! Underserved communities depend on federal grants for childhood vaccines, mental health, school nutrition, and countless other programs. Hands off! Hands off! And we must never forget Trump's incompetence during the pandemic, which killed over 1 million Americans. So let me wrap up by just asking the folks to help me out a bit. Help me shout it out. Our elderly and disabled depend on Medicare to survive. Hands off! 3 million kids and adults in North Carolina alone depend on Medicaid to survive. Hands off! Our veterans have earned and deserved a good health care system. Hands off! Childhood vaccines are proven science, and they save lives, damn it. Hands off! Sorry. Medical research focused on women and minorities is crucial. Hands off! Our children require clean air and clean water to live. Hands off! Americans will die if we don't stop installing quacks and suck-ups and let the experts get back to the health agencies. Hands off! Restore USA to the hungry and the sick of the world. Hands off! Hey, billionaires, do not defund our country's health safety net just so you can get some more tax breaks. Hands off! I deputize each and every one of you to fight like hell for the health of our communities and our citizens. Until this ointment is stopped, keep fighting and never ever let up. Thank you.
That's the best speech ever.
Well, now, if he didn't fire that crowd up, I don't know what will. Love it. Thank you. Next up, we have a storyteller, Reverend Susan Hoyle, who'll be talking about Medicaid.
We come here today because we care. We care about our country, our world, and each other, even if we don't know each other's name. We care that our lives have changed so much in the last 2 months, and I, for one, am exhausted by all of the change that is trying to throw away our humanity. I'm a United Methodist pastor, a clinical social worker for 20 years, a mom, and this is my first rally. I have seen people thrown away or looked at with disgust because they cannot work, they don't have insurance, and they need help. Rarely does anyone ask why someone cannot work or if they have insurance. It is assumed they are just lazy, and that is a lie. As a pastor and a social worker, I know folks make choices every day between the medication they need and food, or a doctor's appointment and paying their electric bill. I also know how difficult it is for my family members who have struggled to live fully because of medical and mental health needs. I have lived their struggles with them when they have not had insurance. I know the distress and defeat when a doctor's visit for intense back pain or medication for mental health is needed, not wanting to ask me for help again. What do our loved ones do who don't have insurance? We help them the best they can. We put $400 on our credit card for that excruciating toothache. Then we hope and pray we have the money to pay on that card. We help them with whatever we have, even going into debt for them. They expanded Medicaid, was passed, and those years of worry turned into functioning, much better functioning of our loved ones. They begin to live their lives better than they have in years, and we feel some of the burden lifted from them and us. Then we hear Medicaid may be cut, perhaps gutted from the inside out. The heaviness of that burden quickly returns. Here we are today wondering what happens next. For me, I wonder when I must retire in 15 months, will I be able to financially help my loved ones if Medicaid is thrown away? Will they have medical care? Will they have food to eat? We come here today to stand with each other, to help us remember we are not alone in this, because each and every one of us has a story to tell. I will stand with you. Will you stand with me?
Thank you so much. Our next speaker is Terrell Dungy, and they will be speaking on LGBTQ.
Hi there, folks. Can you hear me? Hi, afternoon. My name is Terrell Dungy. I'm a local community organizer, your local angelic troublemaker, and your Mr. North Carolina Leather 2024. One of the big things about my representation as a leather title holder is consent, and it's mandatory. Right now, our government is moving without our consent. So it's important that we speak up and we fight back. I want to share a story about how I got to fight back against an authoritarian rule when I was in high school. So I got the chance to attend a youth program about youth development and community building. It was a great experience in Western North Carolina where I got to meet tons of kids from all over the state working together in this group. We spent a lot of the weekend bonding, getting to know our counselors, really starting to build this inclusive community that we were envisioning. That all changed one day when our camp counselor came banging on our door. Now normally, he's usually waking us up with the very loud sounds of Kanye West's Good Morning. But in this moment, he was dragging us out of our beds, forcing us to get ready. So we quickly rushed out of our cabins. We came out to the field where we saw all the other students just as confused as we are, trying to really understand what happened to make these counselors switch. We felt very overwhelmed and overpowered by the dynamics of the adults that we were supposed to trust. And this kept going on. Folks were taking them not seriously at first, and then ultimately, once we were not following the new rules, we ended up in isolation or segregation. Now, all of this is happening. I'm just thinking to myself, this is not right, and someone needs to do something. But none of the adults were speaking up for us. So eventually I spoke up, and then I ended up in isolation. And we were sat in a gazebo where we could see all of our other friends and kids across the camp just miserable at the conditions that had just taken over in just a few hours. So I took a risk. I broke out of isolation and I got into the middle of the crowd or the middle of the field and I called out to the other students. I was like, listen, we have the numbers. We have the power. They can't hold us all. If we come together, we can outnumber them. We can stop this. So I even started singing one of our camp songs in protest as they were trying to break me down. But ultimately, one of the other kids, one of the young boys that were there, he started to join me in protest and song too. And then slowly, more of the other students came in. And as the counselors are still trying to stop us, we're joining into this big chorus of resistance. Now, luckily, this was just a camping experience and we were all safe. But nobody prepared me for the day where I would have to face fascists in real life. So, get back on track here. Louder. Thank you. Things are bad right now, and Trump and his administration are making quick work of dismantling our democracy. But it's not just Trump. Our North Carolina General Assembly are passing bills or sending bills up to attack trans communities, trans youth, our LGBT families, and our foster families. Right, we have just yesterday, in Just Justice, Jefferson Griffin has stolen an election from 65,000, North Carolinians who voted to see Allison Riggs in that seat. We cannot let these kind of injustices go on. We are the ones we are waiting for. This is a time for us to act collectively. Will you stand with me? We can't stop the energy here. Authoritarianism never stops. It only challenges. We cannot let folks who continue to challenge our consent and our democracy go unchecked. So, can you just join me real quick in a chant of stop the steal! 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 If you feel that in your heart, make sure you check out the groups that are here to get people organized. Guilford for All, Carolina Federation, we're going to be doing work around this Allison Riggs race to give people a chance to cure those ballots and make sure as many of that 65,000 folks are concluded in what happens next after this race. So thank you all, and yes, let's get excited.
Thank you so much, Terrell. Next up, we have a storyteller, Inez Elliott, speaking on trans rights.
Hi, everybody. My name is Inez Elliott. My pronouns are she, her, hers. And I am the mom of an amazing, brilliant, creative, and loving transgender, non-binary kid. Okay. But the story I'm telling today is from another family that can't come up here. They're afraid to go out in public and tell their story, but you should hear it. So I am the mother of an incredible transgender teenager. She's vibrant and smart, caring and empathetic, joyous and full of confidence. We had somewhat of a rocky start though. We did not know what to expect when she came out, but we have felt supported by our community and have been able to navigate the options for medical treatment that have been available to us in another state. While things have not always gone smoothly, we have persevered and received the care that my daughter needs. After Election Day of 2024, we were scared. How would this change our trajectory? Would it come to a complete halt? How could we ensure the health care that our daughter needed? In trying to assure my child, I was also desperately trying to reassure myself. Suspecting the changes that were to come, we doubled our efforts. Pushing forward was not just health care. We took to the courts to seek a name change and the associated processes that would make our daughter whole, just to be the person that she knew she was. As mid-January approached, we braced for what was anticipated to come. And then it showed its ugly face. In just 48 hours, our family's world was turned upside down. On January 28th, the executive order was signed that halted the affirmative care our daughter had begun 4 months earlier. The night before her scheduled appointment, we received a call from her doctor, informing us that the care for transgender patients had been paused. I had to break the news to my daughter that we wouldn't be making the 3-hour journey to see her doctor the next day. The pain in her eyes was heartbreaking, and to say she was devastated would be an understatement. I'll never forget the question she asked me. Mom, why does Trump want to erase me? That night was filled with tears and an overwhelming number of questions. I didn't have the answers to these questions. Thankfully, we're fortunate to have a network of supportive people who quickly mobilized to help us find an alternative provider to continue her care. We were fortunate to connect with the new provider relatively quickly. While the provider was able to start hormone therapy if we chose, they were unable to provide puberty blockers, which left my daughter feeling anxious. The prospect of continuing through puberty was one of our biggest fears, and the uncertainty of not having that option available only deepened her anxiety. Despite the setbacks and the challenges we faced, we remain determined to support our daughter in every way possible. The journey has not been easy, but with the love and support of those around us, we continue to fight for her right to live authentically. We will not stop advocating for her and all transgender individuals who deserve to have their voices heard and their care respected. Our family is stronger because of this experience, and we will keep moving forward together.
Thank you so much. And now we're going to welcome back those viral sensation, the Raging Grannies.
Our gender rights are under attack. Our gender rights are under attack. Reproductive services are under attack. LGBTQ plus rights are under attack. Rights to marry for the LGBTQ plus community are under attack. Rights to adopt under attack. The rights to use a bathroom is under attack. Our next song is Gender Rights Are Human Rights.
Gender rights are human rights. They know what clothes they want to wear, so give them a fair chance. Trans women change from pants to skirts, trans men from skirts to pants. They choose to leave or follow, or go solo when they dance. Gender rights are human rights. No more insults, no more slander. No more right-wing propaganda. Our bodies are our own and we decide where we belong. Gender rights are human rights. Grammar causes problems that we must try to erase. She and he are not the only pronouns for the human race. Gender isn't binary, let's each choose our own case. Gender rights are human rights. No more insults, no more slander. No more right-wing propaganda. Our bodies are our own and we decide where we belong. Gender rights are human rights. Gender rights are human rights.
Thank you so much. Sorry about that feedback. Next up, we have a storyteller, Portia McCracken, who will be talking on Social Security and veterans.
Hello, can you hear me? Okay, that's a hard act to follow. Good afternoon, my name is Portia McCracken. I'm a veteran, a Social Security recipient, and a Medicare enrollee. I first began working at the age of 16 and was independently supporting myself by the time I reached 18. I'll be 82 in July. After working my way through Guilford College, I accepted a graduate teaching assistantship at the University of Tennessee in Knoxville. It was while I was at UT Graduate School that I made the best decision of my adult life. I volunteered for service in the United States Air Force. I never looked back. In the spring of 1973, I earned a commission as a second lieutenant and spent the next 20 years as a career military officer, retiring in 1993 at the rank of lieutenant colonel. Before anyone asks, this was way back in the dark ages, before women were allowed to fly or fight in combat, or in my final years, we weren't even allowed in country at the beginning of the Gulf Wars. So I miss most of the sexy stuff. Today, like many of you, my entire income consists of earned benefits from my working life. For me, as a veteran, that means Social Security, a small VA medical compensation, and the Air Force retirement pension I was privileged to have earned during my 20 years of service. These allow me to live in my house, pay my bills, and support a few charities along the way. The attacks on Social Security and VA health and education benefits, not to mention threats to Medicare, are frightening and will affect many of us. But as a retired veteran, what really keeps me up at night is what will happen when Sauron's eye inevitably turns to the military retirement pension program. Fingers crossed that Trump gets fed up with Musk before he can get that far. If all I fear comes to pass, the theft of our Social Security, Medicare, and earned VA benefits and military pensions, then for the first time in our lives, people like me will not be able to support ourselves. That means I'll no longer be able to pay my bills, mortgage and utilities, gas for my car, food for my table, and even care for my pets. There's been plenty of talk coming out of Washington, but so far not enough action. And we're running out of time with an incredible amount of work to be done to prevent crazy people from blowing up our government completely. Whoa! Brothers and sisters, we, the veterans, women, the elderly, school-aged children, young adults, and our many treasured minorities are all being thrown under the bus. It's past time to tell Washington to keep their greasy, grifty, tiny hands off our rights.
Thank you all very much. Next up is Mary Cruz Hernandez speaking on immigration.
Hello everyone. This is a bittersweet situation here. Sweet because I get to see everyone advocating for rights that are here, and bitter because we shouldn't be here. I am here to speak in representation of our immigrant and refugee communities that has been targeted for many months now since the new administration has come in. This is very hard for me, so bear with me. that the new administration has proposed and implemented. Our communities have been affected emotionally, physically, and financially. Currently, we have seen 13 plus executive orders that harms our immigrant and refugees communities. Most of this coming at our Constitution fundamental principles. Alongside this have been 90 plus proposals, federal and state level legislations that promote the hate and the harm of our communities. From wanting to take away the rights to public education, to monetary funds that ensures that they do not go to our immigrant families. This we say, hands off. In the month of March, a recent report indicates that IRS is hearing an agreement to allow immigration officials to use tax data and the names and addresses of people suspected to be in this country illegally. If this were to be forced, the USA could lose an approximately of $96.7 billion in tax money. This would affect our Medicaid, our rights to food, our rights to education. It will affect us all. So I ask today, I ask myself, does it only affect our immigrant and refugee community, or does it affect all of us? All of us. The new administration has not just caused fear within our immigrant and refugees communities, but it also has caused fear within our advocates. We have to work harder now. We have to stand and speak our voices for our immigrants communities. So I say it one more time, hands off our immigrant families, hands off our immigrant children, hands off our immigrant mothers, and hands off our immigrant fathers. Thank you.
Do you care if I take a picture of you with your sign?
That was very brave of Mary Cruz to come up. Thank you very much. Next up is Ro Lewis. Early childhood education.
Hi, everybody. I'm here to speak about early childhood education. And it's something that's very dear to my heart, because little children go into care as well as bigger children go into care. So, I'm trying to be nice and loud because I know that there's a lot of noise out there, and I know that there are a lot of people trying to listen here. So I'm trying to be nice and loud, but that's tough. I'm here to urge our government at the county, state, and federal levels to keep their hands off our already really meager funding. The thing about early care and education is that it's really about what we value as a society. In Guilford County, if patterns hold, next school year, about 20,000 children ages about 6 weeks through age 5 will receive a free or reduced rate high quality child care spot. This doesn't include those whose families don't qualify for these free spots or child care vouchers, the families who scrape together enough money for private care costs that rival college tuition, it doesn't count them. And that's 20,000 young babies, toddlers, and preschoolers who get the sensory-rich screen-free, connection-filled, language-immersive experience of a great classroom. But we don't really value children as a society. Because if we did, every child would have that. That's about 20,000 extremely lucky families who have the support of an early childhood expert to join their village to keep them from feeling alone in an increasingly isolating, overwhelming, and decreasingly connected world. But we don't really care about families either. Because if we did, every family would have this kind of support. At a ratio of one child or one teacher for every 12 children, which I assure you is a ratio that really only works for kids about 4 to 5 years old. But for the sake of the question, that's what we'll use. That's about 1,600 early childhood educators here in Guilford County, which statistics tell us will be primarily women of color, and living in households at or below the poverty line already. But we don't really care about exploited workers. That's not something we value, because if we did, all of these folks would be assured adequate wages, retirement, and health care. So what's left? I mean, we don't value kids, we don't value families, we don't value exploited workers. The only thing left that I can say to you is this. Money seems to be the only thing that really matters to some folks lately. And so instead of valuing babies or families or workers, I'm gonna ask you to lean on a horrific lesson that we learned from COVID-19 as simply and as plainly as I can put it. No childcare, no workforce. Our economy as a nation, as a state, as a county, and as a community can only thrive to the extent that childcare thrives. Just like a little baby depends on the health of their family, and families depend on the health of their village, our economy rests on the back of our early childhood system. Hands off early childhood education.
Thank you so much, Ron. Next up, we have Rondisha Wallace, who will be speaking on pay for cafeteria workers.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Rondisha Wallace, and I proudly serve as the cafeteria manager at Peck Elementary and one of the newly elected ESP directors with my union, GCAE, representing the powerful, hard-working, classified employees of Guilford County Schools, especially my school nutrition staff. Okay, let me tell you something about us. We show up early, we serve with heart, and we give this district everything we've got. And yet, our paychecks don't reflect the years we've given. We are essential, we are professionals, and we deserve to be paid like it. Yeah. Back in November of 2023, I stood with 3 brave SNS co-workers and led a county-wide call-out out of my department. Not out of rebellion, not out of but out of desperation. We needed to be seen, we needed to be heard. That call out wasn't easy, but it was necessary. But when your salary doesn't even cover your rent, and you're working multiple jobs just to survive, silence is no longer an option. We've shown up, we've sacrificed, and now we're standing together, stronger than ever, demanding what we've earned: steps, grades, and a livable wage. Whether we're fighting for fair pay in schools, access to health care, Social Security benefits, or the right to make decisions about our own bodies, we are fighting the same fight, a fight for dignity, democracy, and justice. Let me say this again for the folks in the back and the ones online. One job should be enough. We are not asking for favors. We are demanding fairness. We're done surviving. We're ready to thrive. So to every school nutrition employee, every classified worker, every teacher, every person that is standing here today and watching online, thank you for fighting. Thank you for showing up. This is our moment, and together we are going to make history. Let's keep showing up, let's keep speaking up, and let's keep moving forward, because we are better together. Thank you.
Nice job. Thank you so much, Juanita. Next up, we have, again, Dina Hayes Green. She will be speaking on diversity, equity, inclusivity, and accessibility.
Good afternoon again. I wanted to say that DEI is a weapon of mass distraction. Don't believe the hype. The majority of poor people in this country, people who are on welfare, 40 million people on public assistance, are white. And the way they keep white people poor and disenfranchised is suggesting that black and brown people are getting jobs and opportunities that they're not qualified for over you. This is a 400-year-old strategy. One of the things that I learned from an elder that insisted I go to an Undoing Racism workshop 25 years ago, because I thought that racism was created to oppress black and brown people. But we were already doing that. We were already enslaving people. We had Jim Crow. Why do we need to create racism when we were already doing that? We created racism to control poor and working class white people. Because poor and working class white people were a problem. You know why? Because they started to see that their oppression was similar to people that were working alongside them. And they're just like, wait a minute, something's wrong. But there were more poor white people in the country at the time than there were kidnapped and enslaved Africans or indigenous people. They were waking up and becoming conscious about who was oppressing them, and they started to resist. So we had to create this identity, this all-class collaboration to pull poor and working class white people out of solidarity with poor oppressed people of color, so that they would see themselves aligned with the people who were oppressing them. And it's still working today. The reason why they want to stop DEI is because they want to stop this, because white people woke up. Because white people developed a consciousness to say, Dr. Luking, that your health disparities make me sicker. That the inequities in the educational system are impacting my opportunities. So we're in the same situation, in the same struggle. So what we want to say is we want to say, hands off our solidarity. Again, the reason why they wanted to stop so many young people from voting is because young people believe in solidarity. They believe in inclusion. They know that our society is stronger and better, that our economy is stronger and better when everyone is thriving. You cannot underserve one population of people and think that you're going to serve other people better. Dr. Luking was talking about our maternal and infant health statistics. And while black and brown women's babies and mothers are dying at 3 times the rate, white women, you're dying and your babies are dying in the United States worse than they are in other countries that don't have our resources. So be in this for you. Be in this for us. And again, hands off our solidarity. Don't count who's not here. Count the people here that have shared values. Count the people here who share a worldview of inclusion and access and economic opportunities for everyone. Thank you.
Thank you, Dina, so much. Next up, we have another storyteller, Nicole Lester, who will also be speaking on DEIA.
Wow, hi. My name is Nicole Lester. I have been teaching in the North Carolina public schools for 20 years. I am exhausted. We are exhausted. And my message today is hands off our schools. Public schools are for everyone. Everyone. All children are entitled to a free and appropriate public education. Without accessible and inclusive public education, nothing else matters. That is the backbone of our entire society. Everyone out here advocating today is here because you had access to an education. These anti-woke policies are hurting our children, they're hurting our schools, they are hurting our nation. We are facing historic teacher shortages, and the situation in North Carolina is dire. The more restrictions we put on educators, the more afraid we make people to go into teaching, the less teachers we have. As a special education teacher, I spent my years working and advocating for students with the most complex disabilities, the most intense special needs, students who are non-speaking, have significant intellectual disabilities, students who cannot be toilet trained, cannot have issues with communication, behavior. These students have the absolute greatest needs in our community and the absolute least support. Last school year, I was the only certified full-time teacher for 27 of these children with intense special needs. Thankfully, I had a crew of amazing teacher assistants working with me. However, they work their butts off. They work harder than any other school employee, and they get paid the least. We need to do something, and we need to do it now. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Nicole. Next up, we have Aiden Loretz, and they will be speaking on the environment.
Hello, everyone. My name is Aiden Loretz. I am honored to stand here in solidarity with you all on Sara and Kiawe land, and to be a proud ally of the Akanichi Zaponi Nation through my work with 7 Directions of Service. I am proud to stand here as a young, queer, loudly and unapologetically trans human being. Humanity. We are here because we are speaking up for our human rights. We are also here to speak for those that are greater than human rights. We are here because Trump and Doge are doing away with the Environmental Policy Act. Trump's Unleashing American Energy Executive Order, signed on his first day, directed agencies to speed up permitting, rolled back parts of the EPA, and instructed the National Economic Council to recommend ways to ease the approval for interstate pipelines. This directly impacts us here in Guilford County. If you don't know, right now, the Williams Transco Company is seeking permits to approve their proposed Southeast Supply Extension Project, which begins in Oak Ridge. This is the largest East Coast pipeline project to date. It is a fracked gas methane pipeline that would transport over 18,000 Olympic swimming pools worth of fracked methane gas every day through the size of a pipe that is a hula hoop. Why oppose this project? Well, besides the 300 water quality violations that Transco has in this state already, the millions of damages that they've paid as a result of their egregious health and safety record, the threat to our city's access to clean water from the pollution of our water's reservoirs, and the fact that ratepayers like you and I will pay for this project because of offset costs from Transco and Duke Energy. Transco Williams has admitted themselves that the benefits of the project are not realized by those impacted. They have said in a statement the benefits of the project are not realized by those impacted. We need local government and local politicians to stand up and oppose this project by passing a resolution of opposition. Everyone here has power beyond a vote. You can use your voice and your body like you are today. Please, while you're here, go over to our No SSEP table, learn more about the project and how you can get involved and organize your community. Be loud, be angry. Tell Mayor Vaughn to protect her climate legacy. Hands off our energy, hands off our homes, hands off clean water, clean air, the ground and the sky, hands off the four-legged, the winged and the fishes, hands off the rocks and the trees, the fruit and the seeds, hands off our lives, human animals, non-human animals, and all elements of the world living and non-living. Hands off our environment and hands off our future. Remaining time, I want to shout out some local organizations that are doing amazing work here in Greensboro. There's a huge houseless crisis in Greensboro, and organizations like the Working Class and Houselessness Organizing Alliance have been doing work for years to help these people. Please stand up, because we are all interconnected. None of us are free until we're all free. I would not be here if it wasn't for the homeless, Black, trans women that live on the streets that fought for my rights to stand here in front of you all. From Greensboro to Gaza, we will all be free. Thank you.
Thank you, Aiden. What a great job. We have one more storyteller. The grannies are going to come up, and then I'm going to have just a couple of final words before we start our march. So, now I'd like to welcome up Reverend Julie Peoples.
Thank you. This is what democracy looks like, indeed. Look around you. We're about at the end. Thank you to the organizers and the volunteers and all the agencies. Friends, we've heard powerful stories. We know there are hundreds and thousands more right here in this community. This fight is personal for many of us. And we know this is not simply about Republican versus Democrat. We know this is not simply conservative versus progressive. This is evil perpetrated by the chaos and cruelty and greed of those whose wealth far exceeds their moral fiber. At the heart of so much of it is the evil of white Christian nationalism, which worships only power and wealth and control. I know there are many people of faith, different faiths here, people of no faith, atheists, everybody across the spectrum. I want to say especially to all of us good white Christian church people here today, it's time for us to stand up and vocally fight this evil. We cannot ignore it anymore. It is on us. For all of us, we cannot wait for Congress to change. We are the ones to defend the Constitution. We are the ones to defend human rights. As has been said over the years, we are the ones we've been waiting for. They are counting on us to stay afraid and angry and exhausted and holed up in our silos. So now is the time to face our fears and choose the way of courage and community. There can be no bystanders now. Someone said, pressure bursts pipes. Musk may well exit the stage soon, but this battle will not be over, so don't walk away when he does. Eat your Wheaties, take breaks when you need to, stay strong, put aside smaller differences, exercise that muscle of hope every single day. You know what the PR spin when the last SpaceX rocket month ago, you know what they called it? They said it was a rapidly unplanned disassembly. Guess what? We're all going to work together for a rapidly unplanned disassembly of this regime. In a world that radicalizes, we too will be radical. Radical with our hope, radical with our love, radical with our inclusivity and diversity and equity work, radical with our joy. As Archbishop Desmond Tutu once said to those upholding apartheid in South Africa, saying to the soldiers across from him, "You've already lost, you just don't know it yet. Come over to the winning side." They have already lost. They just don't know it. Friends, we were not made to live in fear and dread, so stand together in the days to come, and we're going to keep on shouting here and across the country, hands off, hands off, hands off, hands off, hands off, hands off, hands off immigrants and refugees, LGBTQ people, black and brown people, women, educators, scientists, schools, hands off veterans, Social Security, Medicaid, Medicare, national parks, hands off our votes, hands off our dignity, our future, our freedom, hands off our joy, hands off our hearts and minds, hands off our spirits and our courage, hands off. I got a 3-year-old granddaughter right now. Her favorite phrase is, "Grandma, I got this." So I want to invite you as we close. You don't have to say the grandma part if you don't want it. But look at your neighbors. On the count of 3, we're going to say, "We've got this." Ready? 1, 2, 3. We've got this. Do it again. That sounded so good. 1, 2, 3. We've got this. Thank you for showing up. Keep showing up.
Okay, we are going to welcome back the Raging Grannies for one last song, and then I will have just a few parting words.
Good thing you have.
We're concerned about our planet too, and you are our sunshine.
The other night, son, as I lay sleeping, I dreamed our ozone layer was gone. When I awoke, son, inspired to action, I just had to write this song. You are my sunshine, my only sunshine. You have the power to fuel this place. You leave no poisons
For those who want to participate in the march, the bulk of the crowd has already taken off, so we'll have to play a little catch up. But remember that with every footstep we take, we are making history today. But we're doing it together. We will march peacefully with pride, purpose, and unity. Our strength lies in our unity, and we can overcome any challenge together. Our collective voices are powerful, and our message is clear. What is our message? Hands off! Thank you all for being here today. Your presence is a testament to the strength of our movement. Let's go, and don't forget about the organizing tables that are here. Thank you so much.
Did you recognize me on there? Yeah, thank you. Yeah. Now I can't find her, but at least I got her phone.
Oh, okay.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Get him up. Thank you.
I'm going handheld now.
Oh, hello.
Great job, Kristen.
Thank you so much, Jim. Thank you for live streaming it.
A pleasure.
Maybe we'll do the whole intersection.
Becky. Tesla protest. Good to see you.
Good to see you too.
I'm Jim.
I'm supposed to be part of the cleanup crew, right?
Well, that's that's what we're hoping.
Yeah, this is Jim. I met Jim in front of the Tesla stuff.
Oh, okay, when you had the, yes, nice to meet you, Jim.
Yeah, that's the center right there. Is the yeah. That's where the volunteers are.
Hey.
Yeah. Excuse me.
Yeah, no, that's something we wasn't trying to say, because we have issues. Yeah.
Good to see you.
Good to see you too.
We canvassed a lot for Tanisha too. Last election. She was running against